How are you? I am Li Lei. February should focus on gazing, not just because February has Valentine's Day, with love as its background, but also because, winter is finally over. We still long to be nourished, to be illuminated, to fully immerse ourselves in some beautiful things and to be struck by some beautiful things. So, what do we have to say about love? On Valentine's Day, I want to talk about a book, which is The Lover by the French writer Marguerite Duras. Duras is particularly famous. Some authors are like this. Their real lives are more legendary than any of their works, like Duras, like Hemingway. Once, Duras was interviewed, and she was asked, if there was only one truly important thing in the world, what would it be? What would your answer be? Duras's answer was just 2 words. It's love. If asked again, what is the worst thing that can happen in a person's life? Duras's answer is being unable to love. For Duras, love is either everything or it is nothing. In his life, this one word is enough. In Duras's most famous book, The Lover, The Beginning, is very classic. Many people remember it, right? It says, I am old now. One day, in the lobby of a public place, a man came up to me and introduced himself. He said to me, I know you. I always remember. When you were young, people said you were beautiful. Now I am here specifically to tell you, I think you are more beautiful now than when you were young. Back then, you were a young woman. But compared to your appearance then, I love your ravaged face now even more. When Duras wrote the novel, The Lover, she was already 70 years old. This is a novel with a strong autobiographical element, as it almost writes down her own story in the book. But is this true? I'm not sure, because Duras was very good at lying. The Chinese version of The Lover was translated by Mr. Wang Daoqian. The translation is truly beautiful. The emotions within those sentences, if not translated well, it would be hard to move people. But Mr. Wang Daoqian's phrasing is so elegant that when I read it, I get a sense of music in my mind. Later on, it reminds me of a song. When you are old, well, this song of the same name by the great poet Yeats. How many people have loved you in your youthful moments, admired your beauty, whether falsely or sincerely? Only one person still loves your pious soul and your old face. Wrinkles. So when this melody comes to mind, I get a visual image in front of my eyes. It's right there on the Mekong River, Su, leaning against the railing of a ferry. There's a girl, a young girl. She's wearing a braid and a man's hat. That's the female protagonist in The Lover. Before I read the novel The Lover, I watched the movie of the same name in the 1990s. The film The Lover achieved phenomenal success. The director, Jean-Jacques Zeno, is a Frenchman. He has a very keen eye. He chose Tony Long Ka-fai to play the Chinese lover. And what about the young girl in the novel? He chose a white girl named Jane March. Jane March was a newcomer, only 15 years old at the time, almost exactly the same age as the protagonist in the novel. So the film perfectly captured the images of the 2 main characters. Ano beautifully portrayed the entanglement of emotions and desires in The Lover. On the Mekong River, the weather is hot. The water is murky and very turbid. Everything around is dirty, crowded, and chaotic, with sounds everywhere. And on the ferry, the slender and clean white girl is daydreaming. She gazes into the distance, standing out because she is completely out of place with everything here.